What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, my family, all those things, and everybody else is joining us for today's live stream, June 28th, 2026. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about. Wait for Us 2 Reaction is available now on paperback. Digital version on Kindle should be open later today, available on Amazon. Very excited about that too. My goal was to have it in June available, and it's June 28th as we do this live stream. Awesome stuff. Second book of Wait for Us 2. Available now on Amazon. So thank you guys for being here. If you're here for 5 minutes, the whole hour, however long, dropping by, talking about from season 4 finale. Season finale, not series finale. What's up, Tim? And yeah, we'll talk about that the last 45 minutes of the stream, of course, but general topics, watching the World Cup, what else is going down. What's up, John, my WWE guy? I have not watched WWE, so if you ask any questions, I don't know anything about it. Night of Champions or something that was on last night. I don't know, I saw something online, but ultimately I don't watch wrestling anymore. What's up, Big Tree? So we did watch a couple different movies, and Disclosure Day it should be called Disappointing Day, because the ending of the movie is pretty disappointing. Supergirl was okay. It's a nice, good setup, introduction to the character. Hopefully we'll see what's involved with that. It's basically a Guardians of the Galaxy, I had to say clone, knockoff, whatever of it. It's there too, whatever. So Sami Zayn took the title of Cody Rhodes. That's crazy. That's interesting. I'm sure Cody will win it back. Or Cody's going to take a break because he won't be the man on top, because he has to probably do some publicity for Street Fighter that comes out later this year. X-Men, I'm excited for X-Men 97 Season 2 premieres this Wednesday with 3 episodes. Follow us on Instagram if you want to find out more about that. We have the episode titles and the weekly, I think it's 10 episodes of that too. We're watching The Bear, the final season of that. I think we're like on episode 4. And it just feels incomplete. It feels like rushed. It feels like you watch an episode and nothing happens so far, so hopefully it comes together for the remaining episodes. We watched Rooster on HBO Max. That's a good show. If you like Steve Carell, definitely interested for that. Check out Rooster. House of the Dragon Season 3. Season 3 Episode 1 aired last Sunday. Episode 2 is this Sunday, tonight. And it was probably the better than majority of episodes in Season 2. I mean, some things kind of happened in Season 2, but Season 3, Episode 1, already better than Season 2, in my opinion. But what Dutton Ranch, another good episode on Friday. So there's a lot of good stuff, you know. Like, if you're not watching some sort of series now, somewhere, somehow, it's interesting because you're not watching something, or you don't have streaming services, or you're just doing other stuff, traveling, going on vacation, or whatever. But if you're sitting home looking for something to watch, there's a plethora of stuff to watch as we speak. So, playing a little Fortnite, doing this. Well, how about you guys? What are you guys doing so far this summer? It's only, June 28th, so we still have all of July. And if you're in Florida, half of August before the schools go back in session. And I'm enjoying the driving around without the schools in session. If in a different part of the country, especially the Northeast, they probably just started on summer vacation. That'll go all the way to Labor Day. So you got a nice 2 months left of vacation too. It's pretty awesome too. So. Straight Edge says, did anyone else feel like not a lot happened for a lot of the season, and then they noticed, oh snap, only 2 episodes left, better speed run through a million things without time to breathe? I guess we're talking about From there. So I've been seeing different things from Facebook groups, and some of them are just annoying And some of them are interesting, and some of them have good points, and some people don't pay attention to the show, and some things are answered, and some things aren't. But, they had these Reddit posts that people, some of the writers from the show, or creators, or whoever, somebody involved with From, answered some questions. And they left things ambiguous and open, especially the title, like From. Why is it called From? And the answer is they don't know. They just have that as a title, and hopefully it gets answered there too, but it's left ambiguous on purpose because I guess they just want you to talk about it too, which is kind of frustrating from so many different points of things that are jumping around, and hopefully stuff gets answered. And, after, we'll talk about it in the last 45 minutes of the stream, but it feels like someone said it perfectly, like they were stalling until the final season, where stuff kind of happens, but then it comes around, but it doesn't, and some things happen, but majority of episodes are bottle episodes, filler episodes, nonsense episodes, until they get some answers. And in the finale, I didn't really get too many answers, but again, we'll talk about that in about 10 minutes. So, Tim says, birthday yesterday. Your birthday? So if it's your birthday, Tim, happy birthday. Daughter threw a cookout for me and need another year old, my young friend. So happy birthday, Tim. That's awesome. So, birthdays are good as a whole. Some people enjoy them, some people don't. But I think it's a good thing, meaning that we're still here to celebrate. It's a reason for people to have a get together. And I'm a man of simplicity when it comes to birthdays. My birthday is in December. And I always like to just relax. There's a pizza place down where we get some pizza and wings, have some, cherry Coke. I don't really drink much, so some cherry Coke soda or pop, depending on where you're from, and watch a movie. Typically, we go to the movies for my birthday for something to do. And that's about it, relax and just enjoy the time with my wife, because my friends and family are all back in New Jersey and I never see them for my birthday the actual time. So we do a FaceTime or, answer text messages or messages that way and stuff, and it's nice. But, birthdays are fun, and hopefully you have a nice outing for it. It's just probably when you get older, you have less people to enjoy them with, or less people to be around or go to their birthdays and so on and so forth. But it's just, you enjoy it while you can. That's all you can do, and the little things. You don't enjoy things typically when you're younger because you feel like you have all this extra time. You have extra abilities. You have this, you'll do it later, you'll do it later, you'll do it later. And then it's later and you're like, oh man, it's nice to be home. All the things you took for granted too, so. Did you watch Toy Story 5? I did and loved it. Toy Story 5, I saw Toy Story 5. It's okay. I did not love it. I think it's one of the weaker Toy Stories. I was talking with my wife and we were like, okay, so out of the Toy Stories, what's the best one? If you rank 5 Toy Stories, what's your top 5? Right? I think you got to go, the first one is the best one. The second one is on the weaker side. So I think you go 1, 3, 4, probably 5, 2, because Jesse's the main person in Toy Story, and to me, it's Buzz and Woody, and that's the main people. And Buzz is there, but Woody is barely in this movie. You have to like Jesse, and Jesse is a focal point in the second and the fifth ones. And to me, it's the weakest character of all the things involved. And I think it's a younger person's type of story. I don't think it's the nostalgia that was made since 1995 when the first movie came out. But either way, it's still making a bunch of money. They're going to make another movie, I'm sure. They said that the 6th movie will be the end of the Bonnie story. And that's fine. They're going along that way of, do people even play with toys anymore? Now you buy action figures or collectibles and you leave them in the packaging and boxes and you leave them there too. So Toy Story as a whole is just good. It's just great. I think they do a good job. The different characters are great. It's just you have so many characters now in that world. They're adding new characters every movie the first one was revolutionary. That was huge. It was a great thing to have the idea of toys. They come alive when you're not with them, playing them, looking at them. They're in their own world. And it was a cool premise. And the whole thing with the crazy neighbor that was destroying the toys and everything on through with Sid, and it was kind of cool. And then they just keep making them. So then they kind of get watered down a little bit, but then they get a little refreshing take on they're here in different environments, and it's kind of cool, but it's okay. I mean, it's definitely worth watching. I know that there's a market for animated children's movies still, because you have to take your kids to the movies. You have to take them to, the ability for people to do something over the summer. And it makes sense because, you have to be able to think about it as, what are we going to do? You got to have activities. So, yeah, I mean, like John says, he's a 90s baby. So I'm an 80s baby and raised in the 90s. So in 1995, depending on when it came out, I was like 12, going to be 13 years old. And so it's a big part of formative years of your life. And Toy Story has a nice, connection with everybody. And I love the genres. I love, the universes. I love the stuff. Like, it feels like this year. Yeah, so that might have been one of your first movies that you remember watching. Could have been Toy Story when you were probably, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years old. And I'm sure you had it on VHS or maybe DVD. I don't know at that time. But, it's kind of cool. Yeah, baby boomer with Tim. So, this year it feels like there's a lot of nostalgia coming around in movies. And they're saying, yeah, Toy Story and Lion King for sure. Like so to me, Lion King is the best Disney movie ever. It's just done in a way that's exciting, captivating. I love, cats, obviously, and lions, and just the whole thing, the way it's done. And I think Aladdin, the original Aladdin, is a close. I think the animated movies, not the remakes, not the live action, not the other stuff, But, this year alone, you have Mortal Kombat 2, Street Fighter, Toy Story 5, a Spider-Man movie, an Avengers movie. They're playing on He-Man movie. So there's at least 6 movies that are playing on nostalgia of people. I think Moana comes out. I don't know anything about that, but I know Moana is a live action movie that was animated. But stuff like that, people go to check that out because of the connection in the universe of it as well. Just like The Walking Dead, like people are excited for next month's Dead City season 3 premiere because hopefully it connects and prolongs the story and connects the dots with a little more of the Walking Dead universe. Hopefully setting up nostalgia, connections, reunions, just to continue on. I don't know if it will, but we'll have to see. Comic-Con in July should be awesome. There's a rumor that that's when we're going to get the Avengers Doomsday trailer, which I'm very excited for Avengers Doomsday because of all the things I'm seeing and hearing and the leaks that are coming out and stuff. It looks great. It just sucks that it's all the way in December, which December is a great month, but it's 6 months from now that we're going to be able to see this movie. And, next week is July, and half the year is gone. More than half the year is gone. And it's going to fly by, and next thing you know, it'll be 2027. And then from season 5, the final season, I guess about this time next year, we'll be talking about the series finale of From, which I talk about my thoughts on the series finale, what I think, my theories, my speculation, my breakdown on that. I just don't think it's going to be a rewarding, satisfying, awesome ending. Because majority of shows, we've talked about it on this channel for many years. Majority of shows do not end well. Majority of things just, it's hard to wrap things up. But What I did gather from some of the things I did watch from the people who make From, answering questions on Reddit, that they had a beginning and an end, and they changed a little bit from how they get there to the ending, but they do have an idea for the ending. Tim says, heard online question that when/if 1969 comes out, could have John Bernthal in it. So, I mean, I love John Bernthal, and hopefully anything he's in was going to be awesome too. So, Jonathan Waters says, did you hear about GTA 6 news? So I heard that it's coming out November 19th on Xbox, PC, PS5. And there's a standard edition, regular edition, standard edition, and then like the one, I think it's $80 for the regular, $100 for the big edition, and there's no physical disc. That it's just going to be all digital. And if you buy the physical case wherever, it's just going to be a code in there. There's not going to be an actual physical disc, which I don't know why that's a thing, because I actually like the physical media. Like I have a disc-loaded PS5. I don't have a digital-only version. And it kind of sucks because I like to have the actual discs. I don't know what happens if you delete them, or what if you lose all your progress in a game, or you have to free up space on your hard drive. I don't know. I would actually like the physical disc just to have that too as well, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy Wolverine, which I'm going to play at some point in my life, but I'll wait till probably another year till it goes down in price. And the same thing with GTA 6. That and I like the where they're in like the fake Florida and everything, and it makes sense that it would be awesome to see that game, and maybe play a trial, or I'll probably watch it a little bit on YouTube to check it out. Same thing with Wolverine, but I'll play that probably in a year or even two, because if you wait long enough, it's the same stuff, and just wait till it saves money. Catch a Black Friday deal. It was Amazon Prime week this past week, so you could have got deals on at Amazon, Target, Best Buy, and Walmart all week. And I bought some stuff on Amazon. Did you guys do anything on Amazon Prime week? Or it was Amazon Prime deals or Prime days? It was one of those things where I checked every day, and it's kind of dangerous if you see that, because you see the deals. You see the lightning deals, you see certain things, and I'm like, there's sometimes where I buy a lot, and there's times where I didn't buy anything. And this year I kind of bought a little more than regularly, which is fine. Like supplements and stuff that I was going to buy anyway later this year, and it just worked out because they were on sale. Even if I save $3, $4, $5, $6, it adds up, All right, guys, so let's get into From. So From Season 4, Episode 10. We lost a couple characters. So we lost Elgin and we lost Marielle. Which Marielle had a nightmare vision that Smiley was going to come in to the clinic, and that's what happened. Smiley came in and killed her. And that's kind of what happens, is your fears, your nightmares come to reality here. And they got the bones out of the thing. They ripped up the bottle tree. The light came to darkness. The lightning came flying out. They did this. They did that. Like, some people are saying that it's underwhelming, but it's not the series finale. It's a season finale that it's set up the final season, and that's the point of it. So we also saw that Sophia / the man in yellow went around and took all the talismans, which... It's kind of annoying that this girl is going around causing problems. We knew it was going to happen, just like everybody, but ultimately it's annoying when the lady Clara, or whatever her stupid name is, she is just walking around and being used like whatever by the person, the man in yellow, Sophia, whatever. Because you're not going home. It's all false. The person's not going to send you home. And Elgin should have just said, yes, I'll work with you, I'll help you, I'll do whatever, and then left the diner and said, look, this is the person that we need to fear. No one's put it together yet until the final season, again, stalling for the final season, that all these problems came around when Sophia showed up. All these new problems, right? All these new things. And hopefully Boyd or Kenny or Ellis, and Fatima is one of those monsters that we knew it. She's down there in the cave. She protected everybody to let them get out. They have the bones, and at the end of the episode is the thumbnail with Sophia / the man in yellow walking with the boy in white to a bottle tree or a faraway tree with the hole in it, and she throws the talismans down there. So now that the talismans are gone, they're vulnerable all the time. So it's just sad that we lost Elgin. It was kind of useless. And also Marielle, who's very helpful in the clinic. She did a good job. And also, I think Randall's scar wasn't on his face. Like, they kept hiding away from the camera, but it wasn't really right. The lady who got burned in the face was really annoying. One of those things where, like, just leave her behind. Let her get killed, because she didn't want to be there anymore anyway. She's a liability. She's a problem. I still think that she's going to cause more problems. I thought she was going to cause more problems after those dolls came around, which they may come back around again. We'll see. And she took Boyd's gun and tried to shoot herself, but Boyd saved her, and she shot the glass of the, I guess, car thing that they have. Van. Tim says, now that Fatima shows she's a monster, will she stay behind if some actually go home, even though Smiley hasn't been sacrificed? That's a great question. I mean, to be honest, so since we're talking about From, I'm going to talk about my theory of how From will end. So I think even if people go home, it's going to restart. I think we're going to lose more people. I think even if they figure out how to break the cycle, the way it's going to be is that the town is going to be empty, and then a vehicle is going to come in, and it's going to end with that, and say that the cycle never ends, even if people get out or not. And, you know, I don't know if it's going to happen where it's going to change probably the ending where, you know, Victor was left there by himself for all those years. And people think that Ethan was going to take his place. And people think that Ethan is the man in yellow. And people think this. Also, they finally had the ghost things, the cabinets flying open and dishes flying around in their home. And that was not explained to what it's happened. But it wasn't thrown away like it was in the, I'm going to say, first episode. Or maybe second episode of this season, but it happened again in the final episode here. So I personally think it's Jim trying to communicate something. And because, again, is it Lake of Tears? Is it a boat? Is it this? Because now that the talismans are gone, you can't stay in your home anymore. There's no safety there. You have to go somewhere. Where are they going to go? Most likely to the lake, to either, I'd say the Brundles, but probably where they found those big doll things. And it has the things with the heads on them or whatever. And they're going to have to go away. Still, theory remains, the Lake of Tears, the boat, spiders, lighthouse, connecting that way. The boy in white is helpful. The boy in white is there to help them. People don't believe that because we know the way it ends, the boy in white is talking with Sophia / the man in yellow, and they are on the opposite ends of it. Sophia says, I admire your positive thinking, your optimism, because the boy in white says that Sophia's going to lose this time. But even this time. But that doesn't mean it's going to be the end of it. I think that Sophia's smile was, that's fine. Who cares if it ends? It's just going to restart just again. And that's what I think is going to happen. It's going to be, we watch this series for just a rinse and repeat and recycle because it's a never-ending time loop, multiverse, cycle, timeline, whatever, with different people. And the only people that would be there would be Jade and Tabitha. The other people, are replaceable. There's going to be a strong person type, a hero type, weak person, a family, a group, whatever, however it goes too. So Tim says, with the ghost cabinet business, if it's Jim, why throw a glass bowls, cups at his loved ones? But I think, so I don't think it was like a danger. I mean, it's going to be whatever it is, whatever the writers want to do. It's just my theory is that it's Jim in their house. It only happens in their house. Doesn't happen anywhere else. It's going to be them trying to communicate, do this. And it only happens in the kitchen, obviously. It doesn't happen all over the place where drawers are opening in bedrooms or whatever. But it wasn't like they're in danger. Like a bowl didn't hit Donna in the head and a glass hit Julie's wig off or anything. It didn't do any of that stuff, which would have been hilarious, by the way. But again, it's just my theory. Because, again, the writers can do whatever they want to do. Maybe it comes up. Maybe we don't see it again at all. But it came up at the end of the season, and that's usually where there's carryover for that. But now that the talismans are gone, people are going to be vulnerable. They're not going to be able to be anywhere without them being able to get gotten now. Or taken or killed or whatever. And we know that Jade and Tabitha, unless they break the cycle, could die, but I doubt it. Because there's so many people in the town. Now there's less people, obviously. Because we lost Marielle and Elgin, so it's down to 45 or less. I haven't been keeping track who's actually died this season, but 45. So then 2 new people got to show up for the 47, or it's just going to be the final thing to wrap it up to get it done in the final 10 episodes. There are only 10 remaining, which is a long time in Fromville. 10 episodes, because these episodes are easily 45, 48 minutes, whatever. There's a good amount of that episode time. I'm watching The Bear right now, I told you before, on Hulu. And these first 3 episodes that we watched, 29 minutes, 26 minutes, barely anything's happening. And then I checked later on, one of them is an hour long, one of them is 58 minutes or whatever. So they finally get to it at the end. But it just shows that the final season, if you put 3 episodes and they're 20 minutes long, that's an hour, a little over an hour. So 3 episodes should have been 1 episode. And I think there's 8, so it probably should have been 4 episodes at most for The Bear. But it is what it is. So, I mean, there'd be a lot of speculation. We'll have to see what we can gather from everything. From. So, either way, I'm going to watch it. It's going to be interesting to see how it's going to wrap up. And we're getting there, guys. It feels like it's the final of a show that I want to see how it ends. Like The Walking Dead, like The Sopranos, like, all these other shows that have come and gone that I was interested in. Game of Thrones. House of the Dragon has been really good. Hopefully you're checking that out. Yellowstone, Dutton Ranch, and so on and so forth. But, there's a lot of good stuff coming out, pretty soon on Wednesday. It's July 1st. I believe the United States plays on Thursday. I'm not sure it's Wednesday or Thursday, their game against Bosnia at 8 o'clock at night. And the United States is doing well. I'm rocking my Under Armour USA colors, and they beat the teams they're supposed to beat. The United States is a top 15 ranked team in the world. They are the 15th ranked team in the world. So there's 14 other teams that are better than them. And until they beat a Belgium or a Netherlands or a Germany or a Argentina or France, Spain, whoever, Brazil, a bunch of teams, 14 others, they should beat, you know, teams that are there. Depending on who they play, they could play a couple more rounds. They should win against Bosnia, and then they should win, barring their next round, and then after that, it'll be a tough call on there as well. So, but either way, From is interesting. It's a good show because it's different. I said it before time and time again. I like a different show. I like something different. It doesn't have to be the same old, even if it's superheroes or whatever. And growing up in the 80s and 90s and stuff was a big deal and cartoons were a big deal and, G.I. Joes and He-Man and whatever, all that stuff. And hopefully they're going to keep making those movies and everything. And He-Man, Masters of the Universe did not do well in the box office, but that might be one of those where you watch it on streaming and it has another life of its own. Hopefully they make another movie of it. I don't know if they will or not, but it's interesting because so many places have, or studios and streaming services, or Silo's also another one. What's up, Negan? Hopefully you're doing well in Arizona, man. Staying dry, staying cool. I always think it's hot in Florida until I learned from Negan, who lives in Arizona, how hot it is. The real heat of when it's 120 degrees or whatever, 100, whatever it gets to, 110 or whatever. Anything over 100 is crazy. Here in Florida, it's been 80s and 90s, but the feels like temperature has been crazy too. So, but it's the hot months of the year, June, July, and August. Hopefully it cools down as well. Hopefully you got a lot of things planned. My one friend is in Dallas for a CrossFit competition right now as we speak. He was competing yesterday and competing today in, it's pretty cool. It's the Star, the training facility for the Dallas Cowboys. And he had a video up today from the competition yesterday. And it was pretty cool to see. He's doing really well. He's not a professional by any means, and he's not a top tier guy in it, but he's done really well for, we're in our 40s. And so you give credit to him, and he's doing great. And it's cool to see when you put your mind to something and your discipline and your effort and everything, you can achieve, things. I don't know of being a professional athlete in that world or, whatever, but he's improving. He's been doing CrossFit stuff for 10 years. And if you gave anything, enough time, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out, you're going to get better at it. And I've always said it time and time again is like, so with my book, I said at the beginning before you guys were here, but Fight for Us 2 Reaction is available now on Amazon. The paperback version is already available. Kindle will be available probably later today. I finished that up this morning. But I was going to rush this. I was excited about Reaction. And I wanted to get it out. And I'm like, yeah, I just want to get it out, blah, blah, blah. But as I was going through it, I found more mistakes, and I took the time, and I edited it. And I wanted to get it done in June, and I did, June 28th today, as we do the live stream. And it was the right call to do because I got to change a couple things, tweak a couple things, and set up the next book, which I'm super excited to start writing and getting that going out. And again, I don't want to rush anything on there too, because if you rush it, it suffers. And that's what happened in my first couple books. And people enjoyed them, but it takes away from it when there's grammar and errors and mistakes and spelling and everything on there too. But the story was there and it was worth reading. But I'm excited for the continuation of my Fight for Us series, and it's always a joy to write. It's not a burden. And when it becomes a burden, then you got to start thinking about, doing something else, because, whether it's watching a show or exercising or writing or working or whatever it is, when it starts to become a hassle or a problem or you don't want to do it, you probably have to move on from it or think about how to get around there too. And it's tough with the job, because if you're like, I'm over this job, but I need money. That's why I think investing is super key for that. So you can take that as a supplemental income at first, and then if you continue to do it longer and longer and longer and longer, it can become a substantial amount of income for you. You know, I've been doing investing for 6 years now since COVID, and I'm doing pretty well with it, and I'm excited for the future of it because I'm not doing anything revolutionary, but I am doing pretty well with it, and I'm trying to learn from it, and I made a lot of mistakes and going on here and bought different stocks and everything as well, and it's something that you can do now, and especially starting when you're young. If you can start in your teens, you can start off with a minimal investment, but doing it consistently builds it up on there too. You know, if you start in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you have to put more money in to catch up, and you usually can because if you are smart with your money, you have it. But if you're younger and you don't have much, it's kind of difficult to put away even, you know, a couple $100 a year. But it adds up over time. It's about the time, the length in time, not right away. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And that's how life is too. You know, so the big thing about it is I just try to tell people that and learn from my mistakes or learn from what's helped me, and people can choose what they want to do. You know, just like when people told me, like, I didn't even know From was a show. Someone came on here on a live stream and told me about it. And then I was watching it, and then I liked it, and then I share it with you, and then people are watching it, and hopefully it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And hopefully it gets bigger for next season, because there's a lot of different groups on Facebook that talk about From. And the bigger it gets, hopefully the better it is too, but we'll see. I mean, the writers are going to do what they're going to do. But yeah, so we're watching different movies, and there's a lot of good stuff out there. You know, I have not seen the Scary Movie, but, you know, I'll wait for that one on streaming. I know Silo comes out, I want to say, this Friday, July 3rd, which is crazy that 4th of July is this Saturday. And I live in Florida, and it's a drought for the state of Florida. And I'm sure people will still shoot off fireworks, but they're not supposed to, because it could be fire hazards with that too. A firework going on dry grass or dry foliage or whatever can easily set off a fire, which is crazy. Art Nixie, thank you. Says have a good stream. I'll watch later. I'm in Fredericksburg, Texas, at the National Museum of the Pacific War. That's awesome. Enjoy. That's cool too. So, I know Texas has got a lot going for it. I've only been to Austin, Dallas, Austin Airport, and Austin, Texas. Dallas Love Field Airport and Arlington, Texas for a Cowboys game. But I would love to go to San Antonio and other places like that too, you know, or, you know, whatever it would be, and for different reasons, and it's kind of cool. Tim says, I got from Bry, it turned into one of my favorite shows. And so word of mouth is usually great, you know. And, you know, the other show is, if you have Apple TV, is Silo. Silo comes out very soon. Like I said, I believe it's July 3rd is the 3rd season of that. The Bear was a good show. I would still say it's still a good show, but it was so much better early on because it was that world of a restaurant that we didn't get to see, and then it took over things, and then it was just like it went off the rails, jumped the shark, and now it's ending. One of the best episodes of the entire series of The Bear is the Christmas episode, where it's crazy, the episode, with so many big actors are in it. The pacing of it, the chaos in it, it's just, I don't know what season it is, but it's by far one of the best episodes of the Bear. And yeah, guys, so hopefully you're doing well. From season 4, episode 10 sets up season 5, and that's what it was designed to do. You know, they got the bones now. I'll have to see what they have to do for that. It's kind of annoying when you have like selective amnesia, selective memories, and selective of it here. Like they figured out about the talismans that it was Jade and Tabitha in there. And there's 8 markings, but only 7 Ankui kids. and then is it the boy in white is the 8th one? And then they have the bones. They finally got out of the tunnel. And now what? They're going to have to do something. And they got to put 2 and 2 together that Sophia's terrible. And I want them to figure that out right away. You know, Clara's got to step up and realize that she's being used and to not feel like, oh, I'm going to eventually get home. You're never going home. They're especially not from the man in yellow. Victor's got to do something. Henry's got to do something. You have to see if Ethan sees Jim again. Julie has to do something with story walking. The Chromonacle, the books, this, there. Randall, Boyd, Ellis has to do something because he's pretty useless. Donna has to continue to be Donna but also be helpful. The lady who was screaming with the burned face needs to go away. You know, like Sarah needs to have some sort of arc again. Kenny needs to do something. So we have 10 episodes left. So, I mean, if you have the Boyd episode, the Sarah episode, the Donna episode, the, Ethan episode, the Victor episode, that's like 6 episodes. Like, big things need to happen with these characters. And enough of the stalling. Let's wrap it up. Let's get to it. We need minimal bottle filler episodes. Let's wrap it up, finish it up, and don't rush it. Don't hurry up, and then it's over. Like nothing, wait, go, done. Like, come on. And again, I've never seen Lost, and it's not a good thing when Lost was... For a lot of people, did not like the ending. Again, I have not seen it, so I can't weigh in. But these people who are from Lost, so hopefully they have learned what not to do and how to fix that and to be rewarding for the audience. I don't care if it's fan service or whatever. Like when you watch Marvel movies or you watch certain things, it's okay to have fan service, big moments for the fans. That's what we were watching it for. Big heroic moments from Captain America, Spider-Man, Iron Man, whatever. And that's all right to have them. You don't have to have all these twists and turns and different things. You don't have to reinvent the wheel to keep you guessing. And that's what they're kind of doing with From. From is kind of being all over the place. They mess with some things, they do this, they tease you a little bit, they have this, they have there too. Let's try the antenna on top of the house. Let's try the drone. Let's try this. Let's try that. Let's explain this. Let's explain that. A bus and new people. Tilly is like, oh, is that the man in yellow? Or yeah, too. And the man in yellow didn't come around until, Jade played the violin. And now they figured out Jade was there a bunch of times. And so was Tabitha. And they've been there. And they figured this out. Now they got to figure out what to do with the bones. When day becomes night, they're in trouble. The people are going to come to the windows, the doors, and they're just going to come right in unless Tabitha can keep them there. But she's one person, one monster now from the monsters, unless she can control herself and Smiley. So, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do too. Yeah, so we'll have to see, And hopefully it makes sense. It might be one of those things where people are going to... Because I know people are going to watch it. They're going to go back and rewatch stuff and try to figure out the last season of From. But to me, that's dumb because every season is so different. They had the Locust. They had Martin. They had the 3 people chained up. They had the ballerina. They had Boyd stuck in a well. They had, questions there. They had the bottle tree. They had, Tabitha get away to come back. The lighthouse. So the final seasons of shows usually connect with the previous seasons, but definitely connect with the original season or big moments, or at least they're probably. So usually you think about a series. especially a season. So a season starts with 1 episode and finish with the finale. So it's 10 episodes. So 1 and 10. And they usually connect. They're usually the bookends, the bookmarks. Then it starts again next season. Season 2, episode 1, episode 10. Season 3, episode 1, episode 10. For season 4, episode 1, episode 10. And season 5, episode 1, episode 10. But now you have to wrap it all up, put it all together, have a nice, pretty bow connection for it, right? So either, well, not everyone's going to live. There's going to be tons of people that die now because they have no talismans to protect them. So the lady with the burned face, she's got to go. Clara's got to eventually die, right? So I would assume, hopefully, she tells everybody about Sophia being the man in yellow, because she's going to have a conscience, probably not, a moral dilemma, an ethical dilemma that I'm never getting home. Hopefully she's going to realize that, because you're not going anywhere. And it's really annoying for that to happen. Also, it's really annoying when the audience is super knowledgeable compared to the cast members, the characters on the show. The characters don't know as much as we know. It gets old real fast. What about the door that's in the basement of the colony house? Is that ever going to be seen again? Is that going to be used? You know, there's other faraway trees. Can they use them? Are they going to be able to do anything with that? Are they going to go into the woods? Are they going to go by the water? Will they find the talismans again? Just because she threw them in the tree doesn't mean that they won't find them again. She didn't bury them. She didn't hide them. Will the boy in white tell Victor about that? Victor's got to be heroic and step up in the final season. I think they showed that he's going to have big moments in the final season because he's the original guy. His dad found the gun, the extra gun, put the 2 bullets in there, point the gun at Victor, and then point the gun at Ethan. And then Victor came over and said, "What are you doing? You're crazy," and knocked the gun in there. And Henry was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do." Oh, freaking out, because it's crazy that it's interesting that he is trying to figure out, is it real? Is it a dream? Is it this? Is it that? Is it not? But again, he should be realizing that what's real in front of me is my son. Get it together. So hopefully you got a rude awakening there too. Straight Edge Junkie says, Clara really should put 2 and 2 together. This place lied to Sarah, it lied to Elgin, it lies to everyone, but surely I legit for real get to go home because I'm special. Exactly. Like no one is special there at all. And if it is, it's Tabitha and Jade. They're the only 2 special people there. That's it. That's it. And then if you want to say who's somewhat special is Victor, because he's been there forever. That's it. There's nobody else. Boyd, heroic in this world because he's a military guy. He's stepping up. He's a hero. Donna, same thing. Julie and Ethan are connected with Tabitha, so that makes them special. And everybody else? No. So it comes down to the fact is we're not having a meeting, a town hall meeting, which is like, what are you doing? Which we can't have now because the world's going to fall apart without the talismans. They're just the monsters are just going to come in. I said it before and I say it again. Make spears. Make things to put around there too. Make a freaking trench. Put things around that holds them at bay with their things or slows them down at least, because all they do is walk. So if I grab a spear, just like if the van ran over Smiley or whatever, that would knock them down, debilitate them. It wouldn't kill them probably in this world, but it would hurt them enough on there as well, right? So if you have traps, if you have things that were there that were set up with barricades or something, they would probably just jump over them, but we don't know that. Even though we had the old lady floating by the window in the very first episode, we'll have to see. But we know that, Clara, you're not going home. No one is going home. Everybody has said, oh, they had all these connections and had all these things, and they were special. No one's special there at all. Tim says, the door I've been going on about, thought it would have come into play this finale, but tune in next time. Tune in next season for the door to see if it happens there too. So Acosta I think is going to step up and actually be useful and be helpful in the final season. She was terrible, still terrible, annoying, more terrible, gets in the way, just causes more problems, and then boom, she's still around. She can be useful. So, of the people that remain, besides the main characters, obviously, you have Tabitha and Jade. They have to make it to the very end, obviously. Boyd, a lot of people think Boyd's going to sacrifice himself to do whatever. Victor, Henry, they're connected. We'll see what happens there. Ethan, is that going to be the big thing, connecting with Jim, visions, sights, scenes, Lake of Tears, whatever. And then Donna is going to protect everybody that can be protected. The lady with the burn on her face, she can go. The bus driver, she'll have to, keep people together a little bit. Randall, I think he'll do something heroic, but then he'll end up dying. Kenny, same thing. Do these people survive? I don't know. And if they do, remains to be seen how and why. But I don't think it's going to be some satisfying ending that they figured out now. They have the bones. They can complete the ritual. Now they have no idea what to do with these bones. Do they have to put them in the water then? Do they have to put the bones in the Lake of Tears? I think it's got to be set up with the water now, because I think what the talisman is saying, you have to leave the town. The town is not safe. And I think it's hilarious. My wife and I were joking. You have this little tunnel that's made for hobbits that Boyd and Ellis and Fatima and Jade and whatever, they go in. And they go in there, and then it opens up, and then they can stand and walk around and whatever. But any time, like where they were with the bottle tree, all the monsters were right there, except for Smiley, who went to the clinic. But they were all right there, so they all crawled out real fast, and they went super quick through it. And it's like, Then they just walk. And it's just kind of funny how they just get around so quickly. And I don't even know how many monsters there are. Right? It's a good amount of them. There's the mechanic, the nurse, the cheerleader, the cowboy, Smiley, the grandma, the bride. There's more than 10. I wonder if there's 20 monsters. Right? And so what is the plan? Because they're gonna lose people, obviously, with the talismans. And more people are going to be gone, but then will more people show up? I think we'll see. I think we're done with getting new characters, but we know that 47, 4 and a 7 is a big deal in this world. So we'll have to see. I thought it was going to be because from the trailer, with the lightning and everything went dark, I thought that it was just going to stay dark. And if it's going to stay dark, then the monsters will just be able to come out all the time. And we'll have to see if that's the thing that happens in the final season. But now that it went daylight and quick, and it went back, and the lightning, whatever, where's the lightning coming from? What is happening there? And we just don't know, because it's just not answered, obviously. But the season 4 finale sets up season 5 for unknown, whatever they want to do. I know everyone's going to try to figure out all those things. The Matthew's house has a tunnel underneath it. And so they will have to be able to get the tunnel out of there. And if all the monsters are in town, you can go through the tunnel now and get out that way. The doorway from the colony house, they're going to have to get that open. And they're going to have to go into the woods. They're just going to have to figure out the Lake of Tears is the way it goes. I think that's what they're really pushing for, is that the Lake of Tears is going to be what shows up in the final season, because they throw the little breadcrumb And the boat, like, I'm telling you, the little symbolism and the foreshadowing is that Sophia had a little plastic boat in the diner, a toy in the box, and then she put it away. I think it's a subtle little nod like that too. Like, things don't jump out at you. You have to kind of read between the lines a little bit. In a show like this, I think that's what's going to happen. And Victor's got to step up. He should know this place left and right. He should know what to do, how to get around. You know, we'll have to see. Tim says, Victor, who just walks in the tunnel and around the monsters, but they lock him up. Didn't seem like more than 4 monsters in there with Jade and Tabitha. So yeah, exactly. So there was 3. There was the cowboy, the cheerleader, and the nurse. The monsters in there with Jade and Tabitha. And then when Fatima changed, there was 2 that were going after Jade, Tabitha, Boyd, and Ellis there as well. And so just a lot of things that remain, because we don't know, you know, what they can do whatever they want. They could start off the next season with a whole new set of problems, and they probably will too. So exactly. Straight Junkie says Boyd's boat was also referenced in the season 3 finale or penultimate. I don't remember. It's been brought up more than once or twice. Exactly. So the boat, when Boyd's family was in the car, the moving, you know, truck going, or the moving thing in the back of the trailer, talking about the boat, the Lake of Tears. You see the pictures with the water and the spiders and the globe. It's like the snow globe. And so it's all taken there too. And so they just really have not been around the water much. And I think that's where they're going in the series finale, because it just hasn't been referenced much. There's a lighthouse, and we've only seen it like twice, 3 times maybe. And it was early on when Boyd and Sarah go out into the woods with the spider webs. And again, that's early on. They're going to come back to that. Season 1 and Season 6. Kind of, or Season 6. Season 5. Season 1 and Season 5. I'm glad there's not a Season 6. So again, I think shows are best with 4, 5, and 6 seasons. Season 5 will be next year. And we're going to connect the dots with Season 1. It's just going to be the way the writers love to do that. Connect the dots, big moments, big things. And I think that's just the way it's going to be for the show too. And we'll have to see if MGM if they tell us certain episodes to watch. Probably could watch the same episodes that were the 8 episodes, because I would not go back and watch the entire series again, because there's a lot of nonsense moments, a lot of nonsense things. Like before Season 4 started, you could watch the first 3 seasons. These are the 8 episodes to watch. Could probably watch them again, and then watch, I guess, Season 4 to hold you over for a year, because I believe they're going to start filming soon in Canada, British Columbia. So we'll have to see what it ends up with. But at the end of the day, I didn't think it was that underwhelming of a finale. Like, stuff happened. We lost Elgin. We lost Marielle. I don't know if we lost Fatima. She's going to protect Ellis and her people. The Gollum thing didn't make sense because it was not being used. Will that show up in Season 5? The bottle tree's gone. The light still affects them. But we'll have to see. Will the box be used ever? Will Clara go in the box because she didn't tell everybody about the man in yellow? I was hoping Sarah would do something heroic this season, but she did nothing. All she did was paint a room purple, which is the opposite of yellow on the color wheel. So it was the opposite of what was going on there. And Sophia was a new character that people need to realize that all these problems were, came about when she showed up. The man in yellow showed up when she showed up. She's way too calm. She's way too this. But we'll have to see how and when it plays out quickly. The character is there too, so. There you go, Negan. Happy 4th of July to you guys as well. I know it is next Saturday, but next Sunday will be July 5th when we're back to talk about other stuff. Definitely stay safe with 4th of July. A lot of injuries happen every year. Fireworks, when in doubt, just don't do anything crazy or risky on there as well. But thank you guys for taking the time to be here, whether you stayed for 5 minutes or the whole hour. Remember, Fight for Us 2 Reaction, available now on Amazon. I'm excited to have that out. Paperback is available as we speak. Kindle will be available later today. And like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals, whatever they are. Keep working at it. You can achieve them. Thanks, guys. I'll be back next Sunday, and I'll see you guys. See ya!